What are my thoughts on carb cycling for fat loss? That's what I'm answering in today's Ask Yuri video.
Ask Yuri. You've got a health and fitness question? I've got an answer.
All right, guys, welcome. We are in the backyard today. So really quick question here from Peggy on my Facebook page, who wants to know, what are your thoughts on carb cycling for fat loss? And I responded to her on Facebook really quickly, and I just said, awesome. That's pretty much what I believe to be true with respect to carb cycling. And without even going into detail about carb cycling, just think about this. Just think about caloric cycling. Let's not even talk about the carb stuff for a second, because the carb stuff gets into even more nitty-gritty detail, but it is beneficial. But let me take you up another level, or to a more practical level, which is calorie cycling. And here's why. So if you think about our body has not evolved pretty much at all since 100,000 years ago when we were a Paleolithic man. And if you think back to those days, we never really had, again, not that I lived back then, not that I'm aware of, maybe in a previous life, but we never had access to a fridge, to Starbucks, to places where you could just kind of jump in and grab a quick snack or lunch or a meal. So we would have to hunt for our own food and gather it. And some days, we may have had a lot of food, and other days may have gone through 1 or 2 days of no food or very little. And so our body has adapted since that time, or because of that, our body has adapted to be able to go through periods of higher and low calorie consumption. And this is why I really encourage you and everyone else to think about how can you honor your body and what it's naturally supposed to do. So 5 to 6 meals a day, eating all the time, the same amount of calories, is a big fallacy. It's a big lie we've been told because we think that if we don't eat, we're gonna store more fat or our metabolism is gonna shut down. But the reality is that does not happen. If you don't eat for 30 days, obviously there's gonna be some compromises. But if you don't eat for a day or a couple hours, believe me, you'll be a lot better off. So let's look at the premise of calorie cycling. Okay, I'm just gonna you can think about it as carb cycling if you will, but I'm gonna use calorie cycling as the example in this video. Think about this. Some days high, some days low, some days no. Okay, that's a new term that I think I'm gonna coin that. Some days high, some days low, some days no. So what that means is that some days are high calorie intake. This might be on a day of a workout, so you might have a high intake of calories on a specific day. Another day you might have a lower, kind of low to moderate intake of calories. So let's say your average calorie intake is right here. Okay, so this is your average calorie intake. Your high days are up, and your lower days are slightly below that. So you've got these up and down days, and then you've got no calorie days, which essentially means you're doing an intermittent fast. And the benefit of fasting is this: when you don't eat, you allow your body to heal itself. Okay, it's a process known as autophagy, where the body goes through and will break down damaged cells, repair whatever processes need to be, repaired. And that's very important for life extension. So if you want to live longer, it's also important for preventing disease. And from a blood sugar perspective, if you don't eat, guess what doesn't happen in the blood? You don't have high levels of insulin. And if you don't have high levels of insulin all the time, then your likelihood of developing insulin resistance is a lot lower. Okay, so when people tell you have to eat all the time if you want to lose weight, that doesn't matter. What matters is the total calories you're having throughout the day. So if you have one meal with 2,000 calories versus 5 meals that have 2,000 calories combined, there's no difference on weight loss. Okay, again, there's a lot of myths out there, and we've talked about this specifically in our metabolism report, which you can access below this video, which dispels a lot of these common myths, because again, it is a lot of just really junk recommendations, and I think it really confuses a lot of people into believing things and doing things that they don't necessarily have to do, especially when it doesn't feel right for them. And I really tell you, if you've seen any of my videos, I tell you the most important thing when it comes to nutrition is honoring your body. Listen to what your body is telling you. Okay, so naturally there are some days where you don't feel as hungry as other days. Don't stuff your face on those days. And other days, there are days where you can't have enough food. That's okay. Enjoy those days, because when you do that, you have this natural kind of peak and trough type of calorie intake. It naturally does your body good. It allows your hormones to take breathers where necessary. It allows insulin to lower down. It allows leptin to work more effectively. And it allows the communication of hormone to brain to work as it's supposed to. So I really do believe calorie cycling is important from a health perspective, fat loss perspective, energy perspective, and I believe that everyone should be doing it, incorporating it in some way into their life. So just think about this: some days high, some days low, some days no. Okay, does that make sense? So if you guys have any other questions, be sure to join me over at Facebook. My URL for the Facebook page is somewhere, and be sure to like the page, ask me a question on the page, and I'll do my best to answer your question in an upcoming video. And if you want to learn more about the metabolism stuff that I've just been talking about, and you want to overcome a lot of these myths, then check out the metabolism reports that we have. The link is below this video, and again, it'll really open your eyes to how you can actually lose weight for good without falling into a lot of these traps. All right, so thanks again for watching. I'm Uriel Kame, and we'll see you soon.